As I gaze down at the disfigured corpse that was once me, I am met with a strangely empty feeling. I am not infuriated, remorseful, or even anguished. I am enticed, purely enchanted by the damage. There are scrapes and tears, my jaw relocated, my upper teeth and lip missing, and my left cheek is mostly devoid of flesh. But the majority of the grotesque allurement comes from the depths of the pitch-black hole which once contained my right eye. It seems almost ironic that behind our visionary organs that utilize light, there is nothing but darkness. I am surprised by how peaceful I look. The undamaged skin looks resilient and supple. The freckles scattering over my nose look even more prominent as they were when I was a boy. The untouched eye is closed, and if you only saw the unharmed bits and pieces, you would believe I was only dreaming. As I analyze the scene some more, I spot a butterfly fluttering on the body's chin. I watch as the beautiful creature moves its wings gracefully without a care, unaware of the lifeless hull on which it has landed. Then it hits me. This butterfly is symbolic of the insignificance of my death. Just like the butterfly, life will continue on without me, and no one will be inconvenienced by my departure from this world. No one, not even my parents or wife. This was my duty, tradition, a determined fate that began with my grandfather's role in combat, and although I didn't know when, I was prepared to die. Today started no different than any ordinary day. We woke up, ate our rations, cleaned and built our artillery, checked the items we would be humping, and then we were off. I made sure to write my daily journal entry before we embarked, not knowing that it would be my last. The final written words, however, held a subconscious knowledge of the events about to come. They were, "When I die, I'm going to miss this place. I hope that my efforts can someday restore Vietnam to the majestic place it once was, unridden with the evil of war. For the sake of the younger generations in my K, I want them to be able to feel like their village is a safe haven, the way home is meant to be." We had been trekking for a good 9 miles or so before we decided to rest. I pulled out my canteen and took exactly 4 swigs of water. I had formulated an equation for the most efficient water conservation and intake, based on the average amount of miles we ventured and the volume of the canteen. So far, my equation has held true, and so it became routine to take 2 gulps of water about every 4 miles. It was mindless things like this that gave me some sense of normalcy and allowed me to not lose my sanity. After our rest, something unusual happened. I had been asked to lead the group. Unable to show cowardice among my fellow comrades, I pursued through the now foggy path alone. I did not have the attitude or sharpness of a real soldier, and I was cognizant of this. I was petite, not muscularly built. I had dainty hands and other more feminine-like qualities. I had no sense of terrain, regardless that I should have the home field advantage. So instead I learned to act the part. I would cock my head to the side, pretending to hear inaudible sounds, and hold my weapon with one hand to appear nonchalant. Perhaps this time my facade had begun to get out of control, because at first I did not stir when I heard the faint sound of clanking on the ground around me. Then a second pop sounded, and I snapped back into reality. It was time to react, and my initial instinct was to flee. I dropped my weapon and dashed for the nearest cover, but not before my entire being was consumed by light. I then recall the sensation of flying through the air. People say that your life flashes before your eyes, but I don't remember reliving any of my 22 years. Not that I had any desire to, considering my childhood memories mainly consisted of persistent torment. I suppose maybe this didn't happen because my eye had been a primary target of the grenade. But really, who's to say? Funny. I don't think I even experienced any pain. It was too quick. Short and sweet, as my mother would always say. I appreciated that phrase because, to me, it applied to math. You want to reach a solution in the fastest way strategically possible. I guess you could place my death in an analogy with mathematics. Math is noted for having a single definite answer, and in life, this conclusion is death. When you factor in my weakness, incapabilities, lack of societal influence, and strict family traditions, and add in the conditions of war, my peril was inevitable. I do not blame anyone for my death. I am not the vengeful type, and I know I was being uncareful, and my own stupidity is the source of fault. The guilty man is no more guilty than me or any other soldier. He was merely doing his duty, just like a proper soldier is meant. I did not necessarily support all my country does, but then again, I believe any man could vow the same. The point is, Vietnam harbors my upbringing and the ones I love. Maybe my affection is greater than theirs, but I know that in order to love and cherish them, I must fight. I must make my frail self useful for once in my life. By leaving the sheltered confines of my small village, I had been exposed to the treacherous conditions of my nation, which for so many years I had been blind to. In a way, I believe death was the lucky way out. What use would I have been to society with a brain soiled by horrors of battle? I would just become a meaningless vegetable tainted by my past. So I am accepting my death with open arms. It doesn't matter what my name was or what I did. To those who loved me, I will be hopefully treasured. And to strangers, they will never have to know the measly mathematician loser who was constantly isolated by those around him. I was young, yes, but in my life, I had already experienced so many horrible things that death has saved me. The one thing I will regret is never seeing my unborn son grow and mature. My beautiful wife, Kara, had just told me she was pregnant before I left, and now I have abandoned this pretty girl with all the responsibility of raising a child. To be honest, I was afraid to be a father, and I do not know the first thing about childcare. In all truthfulness, I can hardly manage myself. But now, I am saddened that I will never get the chance. I hope that she can see past this family tradition and let him become whatever he wishes, and let him have a purpose unlike his shameful father. I wish more than anything he could know how much I already love him, and I want Kara to be able to find happiness, which I'm positive she will. I will never understand how she fell for a disgraceful man like me. There is no moral to my story, because the truth is, death is never acceptable to every person, and mourning is a human characteristic we cannot escape. I just only hope that no tears shed for lowly me, but for all souls on either side that have perished like me. I am only one of millions. Tom Biet.